Here in the South, music is almost as important as breathing. From bluegrass in the Appalachian Mountains and gospel in the Bible Belt to blues in Memphis and soul in Muscle Shoals, it's all American music, born here in the Deep South and celebrated by a new generation. Welcome to Southern Fried Music TV.
2, 3, 4.
Welcome into another edition of Southern Fried Music TV. Glen Williams and Carl Brady with you. Another great episode of our show coming up for you today. If you like Southern gospel music mixed with bluegrass music, you got to hang around for this because we have the Isaacs on the show today.
You know, I've said this for a long, long time, Carl, but I don't know if they fit into a genre.
Exactly.
I just say they're the Isaacs.
Yeah.
They have the most unique sound, maybe vocally and band-wise, of most any band I've had the opportunity to hear in all of my years of listening to music. I love it. I think it's one of the neatest things. It's sort of angelic when the girls sing.
Yeah. And
Ben is one of the greatest guys in the world, and you know he produces some of the biggest bands like Russell Moore, our buddies, the Wilburns that we're going to be doing a show with.
Yeah.
Ben Isaac has been very instrumental. I know that I've been listening to them for years and years and been seeing them, but one of my biggest treats was several years ago, a fellow named Ricky Simpkins, who is a dynamite fiddle player, and he used to come to Foggy Hollow with Tony Rice.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to be good buddies, and one day I got a call from him, and he was with the Isaacs up in Boaz at the Bevel Center, which does big shows every year.
Yeah.
Well, we got to go up and see the show, but that wasn't the highlight. We got to go on the bus. And let me just tell you, their bus looked like my mama's house after Christmas. It was totally wrecked. There were kids everywhere. There were clothes everywhere. And I remember asking Sonia, I said, y'all live like this? She said, it's the only way to live.
Absolutely. You can tell they're a big, happy family. They've got there's kids all over the place, husbands and wives, and it's, you know, whenever they had a built-in crew. When the show was over, I didn't see any of the kids or any of the family before the show, but as soon as the show was over, the stage was just swamped with teenagers and young people. So they had a built-in road crew and family members.
Well, I tell you, their mom is quite a unique story too.
Yeah.
Lily, she had her parents lived through the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And so she was brought here and became a Christian later on. You really need to read her book or check her out because she's an awesome story. Now, the downside of this one is I was out of town.
Right.
And my good buddy Carl here, he got to do the interview and see the show. So I'll just let him tell you a little bit more about
Well,
it.
that's right. You're talking about Lily and all the family. A lot of great stories, a lot of great information coming up on the show today. If you're a fan of the Isaacs, or even if you don't know who the Isaacs are, you're going to be a fan after watching this show today. So we're going to quit talking and get on back to the music, to the interviews, and enjoy a little visit with the Isaacs here on Southern Fried Music TV. Well, here we are with another episode of Southern Fried Music TV. We're at the Oxford Performing Arts Center in Oxford, Alabama again. One of our favorite venues to come and visit with guests and artists who are traveling through the area. And we have with us the Isaacs, who are well known in the world of gospel bluegrass music. We have Lily, Becky, Sonia, Ben, and Justin. Justin is the drummer. I didn't know we had drums in bluegrass music.
He's a bluegrass percussionist.
Percussionist. Okay, there we go. Very good. Well, thank you guys for taking a few minutes. I know you're getting ready to go on stage.
Thank you.
But just, start us off just with the latest. What's going on with the Isaacs right now?
Well, first of all, we've been singing together since we were little kids. We're all siblings. This is our mom.
Yeah.
And we've just been touring a lot and enjoying what we do together, recording, getting ready to go in the studio again for another album. And just a lot of great things. Our families are growing, and you can see my family's growing in particularly. And so we just have a great time, and we're excited to be here and sing here tonight.
Well, we're really happy to have you guys here with us. And Lily, we are familiar with your story, growing up in New York in a Jewish family, and how did a Jewish girl from the Bronx end up doing bluegrass gospel music in the South?
I don't think you have enough time for me to tell it, but anyway, just I met my husband, who was a bluegrass musician in New York when we were both in show business, and being my parents are Holocaust survivors, growing up in New York, we were complete opposites. But he's a bluegrass musician, and when we met in Greenwich Village, New York in 1967, 68, got married in 1970 and had these amazing children. And about a year after we were married, he had a brother got killed in a car accident. And because of that death, we found ourselves in church one night, and that's how that began. And this wasn't a plan. My kids were all just born singing, playing instruments. So Bill Gaither one time said, he said, if they couldn't sing, would you throw them back? So I said no, but they're just very talented, and I'm just so grateful that we get to do what we do.
How have you made it work together as a family for so long, on the road, traveling around, and you all have spouses and families? How do you make it work? Who wants to answer
Ben, you
that?
haven't talked yet.
Me? You gonna let me talk?
We're going to let you.
We fight it out.
And then we
I
hug
know
it out.
if I was stuck in a bus with my sister on a regular basis, there would be a lot of fights.
Well, how about imagine both of your sisters and your mom?
Okay, that's enough. We fight it out, but then we hug it out, right? It's all
You know what? We all feel that God has called us to do what we do, and it makes it easy for our families to understand us leaving. And support us in that. Becky's kids travel. Sonia's little boy travels. Sonia's husband's a professional songwriter, written a bunch of #1 songs in country music. My wife stays at home. I have 3 kids, and they support me, and they hate to see me go, but love to see me come home, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
So
That is a good feeling when you come home
absolutely.
after being out on the road. How much time do you spend on the road? How many dates do you guys do?
What do you think then?
We probably perform around 110, not counting studio dates and travel days,
and
cruises.
Week-long things.
We do a couple
A lot.
cruises a year with the Gaithers, and those are week-long cruises, and so.
So that's mixing some pleasure with some business there. Those are a lot of fun.
You would think.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah,
We do. Like on the Gaither cruises, we perform in 7 days. We perform 16 to 17 shows.
Oh, wow. That's
Because the
exhausting.
whole ship
Yeah.
is Gaither, and they can't put all the people. So anything you do once, you have to do twice.
Right,
so
right.
if you do 8 shows, not counting the jam sessions and stuff. So it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
But our kids really have a good time because they don't have to do anything except
There
go
we go,
cruising.
Talk about playing instruments as well, growing up, and how did you choose what instruments you wanted to play, and just kind of coming together as a family group?
Well, our dad is a great musician, a bluegrass musician, Joe Isaacs, and I think that he would just set his instruments in the living room and dare us to touch them. And he would say, if you touch this, you're going to get a spanking. And of course, it was tempting. Honestly, Mom and Dad grew up in music together, and so as we grew up and a position would come open, for example, the mandolin player left when Sonia was about 8, and Sonia said, "I want to do it, Dad." And she just really started working hard at the mandolin. And then the bass player decided he wanted to stay home. And Ben's like, "Dad, I got this." And he really started pursuing the upright bass. And same with me in the guitar. When the guitar position became open, Mom and Dad were there to nudge us. And music has always come kind of natural to us. And singing, definitely. We were singing full part, 3-part harmony. As long, ever since we could talk, we pretty much sang what we had to say to each other. And we can interpret how all of us are going to sing something just because we've done it for so long.
Right.
So, it's definitely hard work. It takes a lot of practice, but then there has to be that, I think, God-given natural talent for music to do it at a certain level and to enjoy it. And so thank God he blessed us all to to fall into the parts that we do. I mean, when you think about how big God is and a family like this, I mean, Sonia is naturally a key higher than I am. And she's a soprano and I'm a natural born alto, and Mom can sing lead alto. Ben, he can sing as high as a kite with the girls, or, you know, so
baritone
when you look at,
bass,
that's right, baritone bass. So when you look at how families are, you know that God had a part of it, because, you know, when you have a couple kids, 3 kids, you know, they end up being able to sing harmony and fit in the right places.
Right.
When peace attendeth, or when sorrows like sea roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul, it is well with my soul, it is well, it is well with my soul, my sin, oh, goodness of this glorious thought. My sin, not just in part, but the whole, it is nailed to his cross, and I'll bear it no more. Oh, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, oh my soul, for it is well with my soul, with my soul, it is well, it
Got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith, or pandemonium is liable to walk upon the scene.
to illustrate its last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark?
Man, they said you better accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess
awesome. You guys have been blessed too outside of the world of gospel music. You've been involved in Grand Ole Opry stuff and writing songs and working with big name country artists and things like that. Talk about that branching out and how that's happened for you.
Back in about 1998, I recorded a solo album, country album, with Vince Gill producing on Lyric Street Records, which was a major label at the time. Rascal Flatts and a lot of other artists were on there, and made a lot of friends in country music. And I toured with Vince for a while, and a lot of my peers, the big stars of today, like the Blake Sheltons, they were just coming out as I was. So we were all kind of starting out together and friends, and I had opportunities to sing on the Grand Ole Opry and made a lot of friends in radio and just all over country music world. And unfortunately the deal didn't really work out. Lyric Street ended up closing, and so but the friendships that I'd made kind of carried on into our music and the Isaacs. And of course the Isaacs have worked very hard to establish their own grounding in those areas as well, but it was kind of neat how it worked together and how it all just kind of formed the opportunities that we have today, like at the Grand Ole Opry. Porter Wagner was very instrumental in getting us to be there frequently, and even though we're not members of the Opry, we get invited to play there as much as we want to, and and I hope one day we can be members. That would be a dream come true. Awesome, yeah. But then just the friendships that everybody here has made in the country music and bluegrass, and it's been really neat to kind of expand and to be accepted and loved, and to have that approval by people in a different market has been really, really neat for us. We feel blessed.
Very good. What's the latest with the Isaacs? You mentioned getting ready to work on a new project. What can people expect over the next few months for the Isaacs?
Well, we always tour, so, look on our schedule online, theisaacs.com, or our Facebook page. What is that, Becky?
The Isaacs.
Oh, that's a hard one. She's our social media guru. And for a tour date, so we continue to tour. And then we are going back in the studio in a few months. And, of course, on the personal front, I express my pregnancy is coming December. I'll have a Christmas baby, Lord willing. Wow. And what else? Everybody's just busy with school, and Ben's producing. What are you producing now? You got a new record on Jimmy Fortune that he just is finishing now.
Oh, yeah,
a solo album.
Brothers.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He produces a lot of secular albums too. He's produced 3 for the Oak Ridge Boys and 5 for the Gaither Vocal Band, and Jimmy Fortune and Tim Menzies' new record. He had 2 Grammy nominations this year for productions, and he's had like 8 total, I think. But we're proud of him. So everybody's just got
Grammy nominations.
Really. Who's counting? Next year he'll win one. But everybody's got their hand in something else on the side. I'm writing a lot of songs, and we write a lot of our songs, and so it's just a busy, ongoing adventure for the Isaacs.
Yeah, awesome. And Ben, today's your birthday, right?
It is.
Yeah, so happy birthday to Ben.
You going to sing to me?
Well, I won't sing to you.
Man.
I won't put you through that. And so you have a son with a birthday today?
Yes, he turned 4 today on Ben's birthday and Aiden. They have the same birthday.
That's special. That's nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I felt sorry for Ben because no one hardly noticed when he turned 40 because Aiden was turning 1.
All right, once you get a kid in the family with the same birthday, you can forget being noticed anymore after that. Yeah.
That will work to my benefit someday.
Yeah, right. He is good accepting it, though. And
we were talking before we started the interview that you guys have changed your show a little bit, or doing something a little bit different when you're on stage. Talk about what you're doing and what people can expect when they see the Isaacs on stage.
Thank you, Carl. I wrote an autobiography. I was working on it for several years, and it came out last year. So usually in our shows, I try to read a little bit and share my life story with our audience, because everybody knows our background and knows where I came from. And about a year ago or so, we've had, this past year has been a hard year for us through losses and different things that we've gone through. And it just kind of evolved to where we've decided, we want to be transparent. We want to just be who we are on the stage, anywhere we go, not just a pretty song, but we want our lives to be an open book to the people that are out there, because there is so much pain in the world. And a lot of times when you can connect with someone that has been there and done that or knows what you're going through, it almost seems like you can touch their hearts more. So I feel like that but we've become more than just the music in what we're doing. And I love that because we've gotten so many comments from people all over. And we're not preachers or anything like that, but just we let our songs and our testimonies just take over in the services. So we hope people walk away with joy in their heart and maybe moved in their spirit where they want to be a better person and, uplifted.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we're going to have to let them go. There's about 1,000 people waiting out front to see them perform tonight. So thank you for taking the time to hang out with us here on Southern Fried
Thank you.
Music.
God bless
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He left the splendor of heaven, knowing his destiny was the lonely hill of Golgotha, there to lay down his life for me. If that isn't love,